I'm Professor Beatrice de Vries from the University of Cape Town in South Africa, and I'm here with my colleague.
I'm Professor Anna Janssen from the Vrije Universiteit Brussel in Belgium.
And the two of us were the principal investigators of a very interesting and unique research project called the TANDem project. The TANDem project is all about tuberous sclerosis, and TSC, or tuberous sclerosis, is a rare genetic condition that has many physical manifestations. Over the years, people have become quite good at identifying and treating all these physical manifestations of the disorder. But tuberous sclerosis has also been associated with many neuropsychiatric difficulties like autism, intellectual disability, all sorts of dysregulated behaviors, learning problems in school, and so on. And these difficulties have typically been very under-identified and undertreated. So as a group of researchers and family members who work in this aspect of tuberous sclerosis, we wanted to do something to reduce that gap between the needs in our community and the actual services available. So we did three things. One, we coined the term TAND, which stands for TSC-associated neuropsychiatric disorders, an umbrella term for all this huge range of neuropsychiatric manifestations. We made up a checklist called the TAND checklist to help guide clinicians when they're seeing their families in the clinic and go through all these difficulties in a systematic way. And we did research that showed that all these patterns of difficulties can cluster together in natural grouping. And so we took that information to the TSC community and said to them, what do you think?
Well, they gave us a response and they say we would like three more things. So the first one is to have a version of this TAND checklist that is a self-report version, so they don't depend on a clinician for an interview, but they can just report it themselves. They want it quantified so that the different items on the TAND checklist can be measured and mapped or compared over time. So self-report, quantified version of the TAND checklist. The second thing that they requested was to have it on an app, integrated on a smartphone. And the third thing was also to have a TAND toolkit with a number of recommendations to manage TAND in a better way and to put in place themselves. So the families have it available through the app directly and are less dependent on an appointment or an assessment with an expert.
So this has been a fantastic way to interact with international experts on something that's very under-diagnosed and undertreated. My name's Chris Kingswood, and I work on this project both as a professional and a parent of a child with TS.
My name is Shobha Srivastava. I'm a parent of a 28-year-old person with the tuberous sclerosis complex. So my role here is to share my knowledge as a parent and give my experience as a person who's been living with a person with TSC. This app is something which is going to empower parents to have support in their homes.
It's going to make a real difference to the patients and to their families.
I think one of the unique aspects of this project is the collaborative nature of the project as a whole, from its conception to its execution to its final goals and objectives and deliverables, has been always to involve specialists, clinicians, researchers, patients, patient organizations, all in that entire creative process.
A lot of research kind of starts with the academics and then maybe at the end looks to family input. This whole project has had family input embedded in it throughout.
I think the uniqueness is the collaboration that's taking place between professional experts and family lived experts, as well as the international representation across many countries and nations.
We were very fortunate to receive funding from the King Bodewijn Foundation, the Belgian Royal Foundation, co-funding from the Tuberous Sclerosis Association in the UK, to set up this TANDem project. And the full title of the TANDem project is Empowering Families with Technology, or through technology. And the study has three aims. Aim 1, to develop this self-report quantified checklist, to build it into an app and to make sure that it works well, so to validate it. Aim 2, to generate an evidence base to put together consensus information about what people can do and how we can support and treat TAND, to build that into a toolkit that could also be connected to the app, make sure that families are happy with it, the way we've done it, the information in there. And aim 3 was really an aim to build more capacity to do more TSC research, more TAND specifically research around the world, and also to make sure that we have an impact in the communities around the world while we do this project, so that when the project comes to an end, we have really left a footprint, not only through the direct components of the project, but also through a range of associated activities.
So it is an international project and it's a multi-stakeholder project. So it brings together researchers, professional experts, but also people living with TSC and caring for individuals with TSC. And they come from 10 different countries.
So I am part of the action group of the daily organization of the project. And I'm also lead of the dissemination group. And my experience with this project, I think it has been very overwhelming from the beginning, and just amazing to be part of this wonderful group who started from a baseline project in co-creation. I think that's one of the important words as well. A project that gets its form and will eventually have really a big impact, I think, for families and caregivers and patients with TSC.
Many different professionals from different backgrounds and countries are coming together and are really, for the first time, establishing the concept of TAND in the TSC community.
This project started with a lovely launch meeting in Leuven in the end of 2019, and then the COVID pandemic hit. And in spite of all these challenges, we really managed to keep the project going, and we're now all coming together to review what we've done over the last 3 years, to make sure we plan the last step for the project, and then to think what happens next after the conclusion of the project.
If I had to summarize this project in 3 words, I would say it's collaborative, it's global, and it's powerful. And my experience so far on the project has been really positive. It's been enjoyable to work with the team, to work on this important issue of TSC-associated neuropsychiatric disorders as a group.
It's fully based on a participatory process with patients, families, healthcare providers, and researchers all over the world.
These are very dedicated, diverse group of people who really have a range of experiences and have really come together to make a spectacular project that I think is going to help a lot of families and individuals with tuberous sclerosis.
I've been incredibly impressed, number one, by the commitment, the willingness, the enthusiasm, the compassion of all the team members over the last number of years. And it's been great for me just to see how they've also developed many of their own skills, even during the course of the project. And of course, it's been amazing just to see the enthusiasm also in the TSC community from families, because we've also tried to work hard to work with many family communities around the world during this project.
I think the families have been at the heart of the project from the beginning. They inspired us to develop this project, and they've been very supportive throughout to achieve our goals. And having family members also as part of the consortium has been instrumental for the success of this project so far. The families have been really grounding the project and making sure that what we developed was and will be relevant for the community. And I think for me, one of the things that has been very inspiring in this project is how it's a co-creative project, and it really showed in this project for me that when you think together, you just are so much more creative than when you try to develop something on your own. Just interacting with each other, being inspired by each other, being encouraged to be creative and to think what could be possible has made things happen that I would not have imagined before.
And I think that's one of the things that really made the project unique, at least from our perspective, that this co-production, participation with family members and people who live with TSC as part of the team, all the way through checking in with family organizations over the course of the project. I think it's been a very powerful project. And I think from our point of view, probably the best way to try to make sure that we really do a project that truly will empower families, and that truly will empower families through the use of technology.
In 3 words, influential, innovative and collaborative.
Exciting, innovative, and very promising.
Empowering TSC community.
Collaboration, empowerment, and ambition.
Targeted, supportive, empowering.
Multicultural, multidisciplinary, and dedicated.
Family empowering projects.